Jason, do something funny. That's funny.
You asked for it. Oh my god, it stinks. Oh my god, it smells so bad. Dang it. Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. So this is my 3-week postpartum, and there's been a couple things. As you guys know, if you watched our birth vlog, I did have a C-section. Jason was a very big boy. He was 9 pounds, 3 ounces, 22 and a quarter length. So he was a very long and heavy big boy, very big head. So that is why they had to do a C-section, because he was not going down the birth canal because his head was so big. So we had to do that. So let's talk about my health and everything like that. So my feet, as you guys know, were extremely swollen. I could barely walk right before I gave birth to Jason. And it even got worse after I got home from the hospital. Like that day that I came home from the hospital, it was even worse than that. So I feel like me being swollen was even worse after I gave birth. But they are back to normal completely. And my legs and my ankles, everything's back to normal. Let's talk about weight. Oh yeah, and plus my lips aren't swollen anymore. My face is not as swollen. I feel like a lot of everything that was swollen on my face and my legs, my body, everything is completely back to normal. I am able to wear my wedding rings again. I felt really weird not wearing them. Let's talk about the weight. Like every woman wants to talk about their weight, right? It doesn't really bother me. It is what it is. Yes, I did gain a lot of weight during this pregnancy. Well, this is my only pregnancy, so. I was 126 when I first got pregnant. Right before I got pregnant with Jason, and literally a day before I delivered Jason, I weighed in at the doctor's and I was 172. So you could do the math. That was a good amount of weight that I've gained 2 weeks after I gave birth to Jason. When I did a weigh-in at my doctor's at the 2-week point for Jason, I was 145. So I did lose a good amount of that weight, which is, thank goodness. So at 172, the day before I gave birth to Jason, and then 2 weeks after I gave birth to Jason, I'm at 145. So yes, I did lose a good amount of that weight. I'd like to lose another 20 pounds. I like to be back to where I was right before I gave birth to Jason. That's where I felt my most comfortable. Another thing, my appetite. Right before I gave birth to Jason, I went grocery shopping. And boy, did I go crazy on the sweets. I think I went crazy on the sweets is because I had gestational diabetes with Jason. So they told me once I gave birth to Jason and I delivered my placenta that my diabetes would go away and I'd be back to normal. And I do have a glucose test coming up soon. And I don't know. I know it's probably in a few weeks or so to make sure that it completely went away. But now I am at risk in the future to have diabetes, I think type 2 diabetes. And for further pregnancies, most likely I will always have the diabetes with the rest of my pregnancies with IVF. I do have other babies. I have 5 more babies left. But let's go with the diet. Like I said, I was going grocery shopping right before I had Jason, so we wouldn't have to leave the house for a while, for at least 2 or 3 weeks, even almost a month. I did go crazy on the sweets like crazy. I was just craving sweets like crazy because I wasn't allowed to have any sugary or real starchy foods. So I went crazy on the donuts, the cookies, the pastries, you name it, I got it at the grocery store. And I was thinking I was going to be so hungry. I'm going to want to eat all this stuff. As soon as I get home from having Jason, I'm going to want to eat all these sweets and blah, blah. That didn't happen. At all. When I got home, my appetite was completely gone. Even after I had Jason, I just was not hungry. My appetite was gone, and it was like that for 2.5 weeks. I feel like I'm just at the 3rd week. I'm just starting to get my appetite back. My mom offered for Texas Roadhouse, Papa John's, Donald's, you name it, my mom offered it. And I just did not want to eat. And nothing, I'm telling you, literally nothing sounded good to me. The only thing that I would literally eat were plums, which was throughout my whole entire pregnancy. I was craving plums, and that apparently didn't change. All I was craving after I delivered Jason for 2.5 weeks were plums and cuties, which are like little mandarin oranges, and water. I drank water like it was going out of style. Bottles and bottles of water, and that probably helped with my weight because I didn't have an appetite for 2.5 weeks. That's all I wanted to eat, and you know, of course, my husband, Andy, and my mother were just like, look, you have to eat something, and I just couldn't. I mean, you know, it's like I just wasn't feeling up to it. I just wasn't hungry, and that's the only thing that sounded good to me. To me, that's healthy, so you know, I could eat like 6 to 8 plums a day. I could eat 4 to 8 of those little cutie mandarin oranges a day, or more than that, and I was drinking water, so the water really made me feel very, very, very full. Oh, like I would have like an English muffin or oatmeal in the morning, because I know oatmeal was really good for breast milk and things like that. So the appetite has finally came back around exactly the 3rd week mark. I'm actually starting to eat normal again. Let's talk about the breast milk. Ready? It could have just been me, but I was having a real problem making him latch. I think because of my C-section, I was having even more of a struggle because he's so long that I was trying to do football style of holding him, and I couldn't do a football style. And then I would try to lay him across my stomach, and that hurt so bad because of my C-section. So I was having such a hard time. So, I mean, I tried the first 2 days, and it was just extreme pain, and it just didn't work out. So I had to opt out for formula just because I was having so much trouble getting him to latch, and then on top of me having my C-section, it just was not working out for me personally. I'm sure there's tons and tons, thousands of women out there who can do it. Props to you. I was just struggling a lot and in a lot of pain. So I did opt out for formula, but I did do pumping. I do pump, so I mix my breast milk with his formula. That's what I did for a while, and he started to get very gassy, and he was just crying throughout the whole entire night. But I think he might be lactose intolerant. We've had to change his formula 3 times, so he's on a rice formula right now. And I still do pump, and I mix it in with his formula, so he gets the best of both worlds right now. I think we found a happy medium, because he seems like a happy baby now. No problems with him feeding and eating and all that good stuff. So I just pump, and I don't make him latch. But I feel like if he would have latched, I think my breast milk probably would have came in better. But it is what it is. I did what I could, just like all mothers do. They do what they can. If you would have asked me, is this where I feel like, is that the route that I think I would have went down having a C-section? Yeah, I think I was already mentally prepared for a C-section, just because of how they were talking to me when I was going to the specialist, because I had gestational diabetes. They were 50-50 with it, but I think they were leaning more towards C-section because of how big he was. I know there's a lot more bigger babies than that, but because they were saying how petite I was, and he was not moving down the birth canal, so on and so forth, I was mentally prepared, I feel, for that. I was scared, but I was mentally prepared for a C-section. And in the end, I'm kind of glad that I had the C-section. Physically, I think it was harder to probably bounce back than having a vaginal birth, but then I wouldn't know because Jason was my first. So I don't know. I'm kind of glad that I had the C-section. I really don't know why, but now I definitely have a huge battle wound. The scar is pretty big. It healed up really well. It's kind of gross. I don't think anybody's really gonna want to see that. I don't even like looking at it. Am I feeling back to normal? Like all my hormones and things like that. I feel like I am. My hormones, I don't feel like I'm crazy anymore. Not that I feel like I was. I feel like I've always been more of a laid back person. I'm very frazzled now when it's Jason, like everything. Like I'm that kind of person. Even with the outlet that we bought, I still look at his best. Like he has a a bassinet right next to my bed on my bedside, I still have to look at his stomach to make sure it's going up and down to make sure he's breathing. I'm sure every mother's done that. Oh my god, every 5 seconds, are they breathing? Are they breathing? And is the stomach going up and down? Should have put my finger under his nose to make sure I could feel the hot air coming out of his nose. Yes, I do that. I still do that. Like, I am always stressed out. I'm always worried, you know, am I doing this right? Am I burping him right? Am I feeding him right? You know, I live day by day dealing with it. Hoping that I'm doing a good job being a mother. And Andy's doing a great job as being a father. And you know what? I was kind of nervous on how everything was going to turn out. But everything turned out great. You know, we tag team it, you know, and when we changed the diapers in the very beginning, you know, he'd lift them and I'd wipe him. Jason, like, Andy would lift Jason's legs and I'd wipe under him. You know, we would tag team Jason. We both helped change the diaper at the same time. And eventually we both learned, like, you know, I'm lifting, you know, I do it and then Andy can do it. We do it by ourselves now, but in the beginning we really helped each other out. We were just helping each other at the same time, just being there for each other. I've had my fair shares of cries. Well, I have to say, for my hormones are still there a little bit. I've had my fair share of cries because Jason was in a lot of pain with just having a lot of gas, and he would cry throughout the whole entire night with just really bad gas, and I could tell he was in a lot of pain and stuff like that. So I was crying, I was frazzled. We didn't get any sleep when we got home because he was up all night crying, and I was a new mom, so we were really scared on giving him gripe water, but we do give him just a little bit of grape water with the gas and everything every day, or if not every day, every other day, to help with gas. I have to say something else. Before I gave birth to Jason, I had an overactive bladder, and my overactive bladder was always really bad for my bladder, and tons of doctors. I've taken different kind of medications, stuff that you just rub on your belly or you rub on your arm. I've taken pills, all kinds of stuff for my overactive bladder, and I'm talking, when I'm saying it's bad, it was really bad, and I was really concerned about getting pregnant because I thought it was going to intensify, and boy, it did. I'd say I got up at least 4 to 5 times a night before I got pregnant, and that's really bad. And I hated taking the medication to help me not go to the bathroom as much because it made it hurt to go to the bathroom. I don't know, I hated all the medications that they always gave me, so I refused to take them because it just made it worse to go to the bathroom when I actually had to go. So I'd rather suffer and not sleep. It was that bad. So when I actually got pregnant, I would go to the bathroom, even in the very beginning, through my whole entire pregnancy, every 30 minutes, 45 minutes, through my whole entire 9 months. It was horrible. I really felt like I was going to probably have to live with this for the rest of my life. And I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was Jason that helped me. But after I gave birth to Jason, I have to say my bladder has completely changed. And I heard like stories of like after you deliver, your bladder is kind of like, sometimes for women the bladder can get worse because like the baby's pressing down the bladder, and then you can have accidents after like you give birth and all these other issues. But I noticed after I gave birth to Jason, my bladder got so much better. I don't know if it was because my miracle baby Jason, or if they did something during the surgery. I will never know, but it's amazing. I can get 4 to 5 hours in of sleep before I have to wake up to pee. I can't believe it. I haven't had that in 4 or 5 years. I'm just shocked. So I don't know if that has anything to really do with postpartum, but that's what happened to me, and my bladder actually got better. Oh, another thing, postpartum. Throughout my whole entire pregnancy, I developed a lot of skin tags on my chest, my legs. Well, not my legs, but my upper thigh, my inner thigh. So I developed skin tags throughout, I'd say, through my 3rd trimester. And so I'm going to have to go see the dermatologist to get them removed. Oh, and let's talk about the stretch marks. I feel after I give birth to Jason, my stretch marks got even more prominent. I developed more stretch marks after I delivered than before. Is that weird? I don't know. So tell me if any of you women ever had that. I don't know. I did not get that line either that goes right down the belly, on the belly button, or above the belly button and down. I never got that. I think that's really it for my postpartum and what's been going on with me and Jason and my updates. If you guys have any questions or anything like that, throw them down below and I'll be happy to answer them. And please definitely go check out the birth vlog of me and Jason. It's awesome to watch. It's an awesome video. I love watching it. And if you guys like this video, please thumbs it up and always hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And I will see you guys in another video. Bye guys.